Other interesting cultural news, you have Bud Light New Year video gets last year's ratio. Now, this looks like it was their last call for 2023. And the video won't pause? Okay. So this is to celebrate the new year. Is this a Twitter issue or an X issue? So, is there no volume on this video? So it's one of the let's see. So they say last call for beers, tell the bartender we're on our way. And pathetically, it got less than 14,000 views. And this is a couple days later. It's not like we took this 1 minute after midnight. So yeah, within 48 hours I took these statistics down. It got 13,300 views and 92 likes, which is also known as nothing. And for some reason, so I don't know if this is a glitch in the system. Let's see here. I'll try resetting the browser really quick, because for some reason, and I don't know if it's just them doing marketing to be moderately different to get our attention, which, well, I guess it makes me think twice. Yeah, I guess there's no volume. Alright, so it's one of the Manning brothers going to the bar. Walks up to a bar, walks past a guy holding 2 glass. What? Again, I don't know how inebriated the people at Bud Light are, but it looks like just a video on repeat with no sound. It doesn't show the product. It's just, I'm guessing it's one of the Manning brothers walking up to a bar. I guess there's a blurry sign in the background that you could see is the outline for the Bud Light logo. But it's not a very persuasive or entertaining ad. This is really mediocre to say the least. It has to be one of the worst ads I've ever seen. They didn't even show the product in focus, interestingly enough. So, I think that's a ridiculous ad, and I was going to say, it's spoiler alert, a lot of people in the comments do as well. So, let's jump in the comments and see what they have to say. Let's see. Now I don't know if this is a real profile. Someone actually says, I need a few, which, Jesus, I can't. If your life is so bad where you think you need Bud Light in your life, reach out to help or call, start praying. Do something. Don't lose hope is all I'm saying. Please know someone out there loves you. If you're at the point in your life where you think you need a Bud Light, just know things will get better. Statistically speaking, it will get better. So just know, if you ever are in that dark place, just know. Now, again, that person says, I need a cup of Bud Light. It sounds like a made-up person. Let's look at him and see if he's real. So again, this alleged person's name is Kevin Brown, joined in 2021, so didn't just create a profile overnight. And he's got 1,181 followers. Now granted, it's all about quality over quantity. I have 231 followers on my X account, at NICTOPPING. Also have one for the show called At The Topping Show. And looking at Kevin's profile, and he is mentally vacuous to say the least. He's one of those drones where everything he does is just repost, especially for that BS hashtag millions, where they claim, oh yeah, you could enter, which again, how much is your time worth if you're actually typing this out? It says, oh yeah, reply and follow at hashtag millions for a chance to win $100. Retweet for an extra, retweet for an extra in today's giveaway. Which again, this isn't building brand loyalty for Bud Light, it's just finding people who like free crap. Which, I don't see that. It won't make you money long term. So I don't understand that. So let's say that's not really. And because, again, no one liked that comment. That just happened to be the first comment. In terms of the sample size, it's not even that good of in terms of the feedback. They only have 59 comments. Jeez Louise. So that person's mentally vacuous. Now, Elnell Quino? I don't know if this person is just mentally vacuous or ridiculous. This is a profile picture of a child. and they have 92 followers, joined in 2015. And that person just responded to Bud Light with a little emoji of a, what do you call it, a beer stein, or just a mug of beer, which also shows you how ridiculous Google Android is. They got rid of a gun because they thought that was evil. They replaced that with a water gun in terms of the emoji library. But you can have alcohol, which kills more people than, I was going to say, it's just an inanimate object, so it doesn't actually kill anyone, but many people have worse experiences with alcohol than firearms. But nevertheless, this person's name is, I don't know how you pronounce this, and I'm not trying to be offensive or anything, it's just Anel? Eno? Quino. Quino. Go to this person's profile, and then they are mentally vacuous. Again, they're just reposting for every company you could possibly imagine to have a small opportunity to win some freebie, including Bud Light. So again, I want to say it. That did get one like. So I don't know who did it, but someone did like that response. Let's see here. Let's see. Now, oddly enough, so it looks like the first 3 comments are, well, not real. They're mentally vacuous or robots. But there is a third one. This one is Teresa. This person has 615 followers, joined in 2016. This person simply responded saying, "Last call here, I'm waiting." And what is this? Melodies of Listen to My 80s album? Okay. So they repost for someone who makes music for the 80s and a bunch of stuff where you could win free crap. So, again, someone who has way too much time on their hands, and they just want free stuff. And again, that only got 1 like. Not to brag in terms of, being too bombastic myself, but I did get 2 likes on X a couple weeks ago for my post. The best likes, bar none. All about quality over quantity. Some might call it the greatest likes ever. I got 2, but they were the best, obviously. And granted, that might be the worst impression you ever heard all year, but we're only a couple of days in. Plenty of time to make that more impressive throughout the year. Nevertheless, those are all ridiculous, obviously. Now, Bud Light does, I guess they deserve a modicum of credit. Not a lot, granted, but perhaps they're slightly less inebriated because actually they responded to these people. Previously, when we were covering it earlier this week even, that was too much effort for them. They would just do nothing. They posted, then they didn't even interact with fans for the freebies. And Bud Light said, quote, "See you tonight," so that's how they responded to Anel Quino. And then Teresa, who said, "Last call, I'm here waiting," they said, "Sounds like you need a beer." Which, again, if I had, if I had all the money in the world, I still wouldn't buy Bud Light. If I had no money at all, like even in college, Hawkeye vodka was popular. No affiliation with the University of Iowa, hilariously enough. Talk about missed opportunity for marketing. But that was one of the popular drinks when I was in college in Iowa. But in terms of they are the cheapest grain alcohol you can get. But in terms of a cheap beer, what's cheaper than Bud Light? There's not much. But I was gonna say, even if I had no money at all, I wouldn't buy Bud Light. If I had no money at all, I wouldn't buy alcohol, obviously. But I still can't think of a scenario where you would enjoy that liquid. Truth be told, at all my corporate events, we now have a bunch of products. We usually have Yingling and then Shiner, which I didn't notice until recently, or might have released a couple months ago. Yingling, still family owned, oldest brewery here in the United States. Shiner, obviously Texas-based, awesome beer as well. And I believe they're still family owned. But going to the real comments. By real comments, I mean comments that were written by people who have a modicum of intelligence. They're not just wanting free crap, and they're getting more than 0 or 1 likes. Now, the first real comment comes from a profile by the name of "What Would Elon Do?" And this individual says, quote, "Peyton shilling for Bud Light now. I expected this from Kelsey, but not for Peyton. I'm no hard on Bud Light till..." Oh, geez Louise. Grammar be damned. I'll read it exactly as written. Again, quote, "I'm a hard no on a Bud Light till there is no acknowledgement of their preposterous evaluation of a dude dressed up as a woman. The fact AB thinks they can memory hold the Mulvaney disaster is insulting," unquote. That got 12 likes and is one of the most popular responses thus far. Lord 3 Lord says, quote, You guys need to sponsor, excuse me, Shane Gillis, unquote, getting 4 likes, which, one, I don't think they would ever do because he's already drinking it for free. There's not much incentive for them to actually throw money at Shane Gillis. Shane Gillis is a hilarious stand-up comedian. I mean, he is viral to say the least, but he already drinks the product for free, so they have the product placement. It's already there. It's on the table when they're drinking with Joe Rogan, and Shane says a lot of things that I don't think Bud Light HR department would appreciate, which I suspect is why the only comedians you see who actually get big endorsement deals are the really neutered or mediocre ones like Kevin Hart, where he's in all the commercials for the financial institute that sponsors him. Chase, he's in all those commercials. Like, you don't see Chappelle in a lot of commercials. Let's say that much. Now, going back to the comments, someone by the name of Dairo Dion Ondario Mirto, which, yeah, spoiler alert, I'm probably butchering that name. This individual says, quote, actually, they have a GIF. He says, never forget, in the GIF, or Mr. Youth might call it a GIF, it is someone who simply says, super, super duper gay, unquote. They got 5 likes. They also have Tim Travels 0072 says, quote, and he has a picture actually with a little text on it, and it's the Pabst Blue Ribbon beer. And it says, Pabst Blue Ribbon, a beer for dudes who still like their chicks without dicks, unquote. I got 7 likes. Jay Child says, quote, no way, dude. This stuff will make a man forget what his butt is used for. I'll pass, unquote. They got 16 likes. Jay Mills says, quote, nothing like a Guinness, unquote, getting 15 likes. Steve Davis says, quote, still on your way downhill, unquote, getting 13 likes. B-Ball Cookie says, quote, nope, we won't ever forget, unquote. And that is the most viral thus far. They got 18 likes. Let's see here. Someone by the name of Mayor says, quote, just saw this ad while watching the Chiefs putting a hurting on the Bengals. Hilarious. Can't believe there hasn't been a rainbow emoji, limited edition Bud Light can made yet. You double down, now triple down. That'll keep me quiet, unquote, getting 4 likes. But they have made those cans in the past. And again, they sponsored Pride Parades for 3 decades. That's, in my 3 cents, I don't think that's a point of contention. I think a lot of people are wondering, why are you sponsoring Dylan Mulvaney, who, again, the average audience viewer for Dylan Mulvaney on the, I believe, the most popular platform for Dylan is Twitter, was about 15 years old, which, spoiler alert, in the United States, you cannot sell beer, or any alcohol for that matter, to 15-year-olds. So I think that was a major point of contention. But yeah, in terms of the Gay Pride cans, I've seen the bottles in advertisements for the parades, and I'm pretty sure you could have bought them from a brick and mortar as well. Let me see here. Someone by the name of Scrappy Italian simply says, quote unquote, sellout, unquote, got 7 likes. Will says, quote, sorry Peyton, wrong beer, unquote, getting 9 likes. Let's see here. Publis says, quote, I'm too fratty now touch drink a Bud Light, unquote, getting 8 likes, and is a perfect throwback, actually callback to their brilliant head of marketing, Alyssa Heiderschild, who should be written down in every business book from here ongoing for the past maybe 5 decades as a perfect example of what not to do. Because again, Bud Light, again, Anheuser-Busch InBev owns 40 plus beer brands, but the specific brand Bud Light, they lost about 30% of their sales by dollar amount, about 26% of their sales by volume. All because of Alyssa Heiderschild. She thought, well, we've been the top beer for over 2 decades by number of sales, but I think she actually said on video, she thought the brand was too fratty. She wanted to go after a new audience, which, again, for having billions of dollars in resources, what they should have done if they were smarter, they weren't, create a new brand and go after that target market. Again, I think it's morally vacuous to actually advertise beer to your children, but if that's what they wanted to do, if they wanted to break the law and do that, they should have had another brand perhaps. It probably wouldn't have worked any better, but at least the Bud Light brand wouldn't have been dragged through the mud so thoroughly. Let me know in the comments. I mean, it just, yeah, she will be remembered to say the least. It's also a great example of how inept the U.S. in terms of politics and laws and bullying businesses. The CEO of Bud Light, Anheuser-Busch, he said, oh yeah, well, we haven't fired her because we're worried about lawsuits. She's on a, we're going to call it a leave of absence. That's the term they use in all the terminology in video as well as in the text, because they're so worried about her suing them, which you should not be worried about firing an employee if they destroy your brand, again, by 30% of your sales. used to be what we would call common sense is, yeah, they're fired right now. In addition to breaking the, you could argue they broke the law by advertising to children. I think there's a legal case to be made in that regard. But yeah, not only did you lose the moral high ground, not that they had much high ground to begin with, but morally you're vacuous to, again, advertise a product towards children that is not child appropriate. But again, you destroyed the sales as well. So there's many factors that lead me to think there's no reason this person should not have been fired. Let's see here. Continue to scroll down. Marcus simply says, quote, the new Bud Light board team members, unquote, and it's a drag show, and they're all dancing, and the screen on the text that flashes simply says gay, and there's people clapping. They got 8 likes. Let's see, Adventures of J and K says, quote, sorry, not even Peyton can save you, unquote, getting 6 likes. Perhaps I'll have to upgrade to Tom Brady, who's actually a sports balls player people know. Ha, kidding. I know people who love sports balls know the Mannings. Let's see here. Do 1 or 2 more. It's all fire and rescue simply replied with a throw up emoji. I got 6 likes. And again, infinitely more likes than the very few people actually responded in a positive manner. Granted, we know they're either robots or mentally vacuous people who are, the positive responses thus far. Apollo D. Mal Entree simply responded with a picture of Dylan Mulvaney holding the Bud Light can dressed up as Audrey Hepburn with the Audrey Hepburn hair, we call it the elbow length gloves, and the smile as awkward as Ron DeSantis or myself. That smile, that could be perhaps another contest for another time. Who has the most awkward smile? I'm not saying I'd win, but I'd probably be in the running, to say the least. That did get 7 likes, though. Let's see, we'll do 1 more. Brian simply says, quote, go away groomers, unquote. I got 10 likes. Jim the fat guy, who, A+ marketing, the profile picture is in fact of a overweight gentleman. Jim the fat guy says, quote, congratulations, you are now the most despised beer in America, unquote. That got 12 likes, which, yeah, there's some logic to that in terms of most people are kind of apathetic towards beer. Like, most people literally hate beer. It's excuse me. I mean, you might not like a beer. Like, you might think, I don't care for the taste. I don't really like the taste or the marketing. But, I mean, they've actually achieved something very rare, or used to be more rare. It's still moderately rare in business, where people are actually viscerally disgusted by the business. So it is an achievement. Not good for sales or, a lot, but still. Tabor simply says, quote, you're still gay, unquote, getting 9 likes. Jim the fat guy responded again, saying, quote, to the interns that have to post the first comments on this tweet, do you throw up in your mouth a little bit when you have to post that garbage, unquote, getting 8 likes. Here. I mean, that would be a fantastic challenge in terms of if you're an intern at a company, or even if you're an entry-level marketing manager, or just like a marketing person. If you could somehow, and again, it would be a tall order, it would be extremely complex, but if you could actually turn around their social media accounts, I mean, that would be a huge marketing achievement. Again, I'm not sure how you go about doing that. I mean, I have a couple kernels of ideas, but I mean, that would be a huge achievement if you could pull that off. I mean, the odds are infinitesimally small, but as a wise pilot once said, never tell me the odds. So we'll do 1 or 2 more really quick before we move on here. And again, I'm scrolling trying to see, like, hey, maybe there's a couple positive ones, but no. And again, I'm reading all the ones that have the greatest numbers of likes, so I'm not cherry picking here. There's a couple where they're saying, like, what is it, an old Bud Light commercial where it's the medieval times, or the little castle where they say dilly dilly. Like, this guy says, I could use a few Bud Lights, but it got 0 likes. If I look at this guy's account, whose name is allegedly Jim, who had the GIF or the GIF for the Bud Light, you're in the little medieval times castle logo, dilly dilly. And this Jim character has 34 followers. He did join in 2019, so it's not like an overnight new account. And he, going to his profile, mentally vacuous again, just Let's see here. So he's just reposting for all the free stuff. Now, in terms of politics, perhaps he does align towards the new Bud Light demographics. One of the most interesting, or I'd say horrifying, depending on how you interpret this, he did a tweet and he said, quote, "How about NATO offering a $100 million bounty on Putin? Think any of his cabinet or soldiers would take the offer?" Not a very popular tweet because it got 0 likes, but it looks like he is not exclusively someone who just reposts for free stuff. So that's why, upon examination, it looks like it is a real person. We could also argue he's mentally vacuous, but they are getting a couple real comments here. But again, no one liked it. So overall, let's see. Oh, finally scroll to the bottom. We get a little fun disclaimer saying, quote, "Show additional replies, including those that may contain offensive content." Of course they're going to click that. See here. What are they trying to hide from us? So River City Dude has a GIF, and it says, not to be, it says, "Cheers for the Q word," the pejorative term for people in the homosexual community. Though, depending on when, I can't keep up with all the not the terminology, but the cultural acceptance. Sometimes it's okay to say that word, sometimes it's not. Sometimes only they can say it. But it's what used to be the pejorative term for the homosexual community that starts with a Q. And it simply says "cheers, Q word," and that got 3 likes. Again, that was also hidden. Another hidden super secret tweet or post comes from Trinity Kiwan, and they say, quote, "How's the piss water going with your bombing sales?" unquote, getting 2 likes. Mo Be Good has a GIF from Cheers, a good throwback old TV show, and he says, quote, "Budweiser for perverse people," unquote, and the GIF says, "What's that stench? Hashtag it's not Normination." That's lost on me, but I'm sure it might be an inside joke, or some people might understand the correlation with the GIF. That got 2 likes, again, before it was hidden. Let's see here. Someone by the name of Nicholas simply says something about winning free bets. 0 likes for that. Someone by the name of Moby, actually this sounds familiar, I think. Oh yeah, it's another repeat. So, well, same person, new tweet. Moby Good says, quote, "We identify now as the Queen of Beers," and it's a picture of a man with pigtails, a beard, and the Dylan Mulvaney can being held, and I got 1 like before it was hidden by Bud Light. So again, celebrating the new year, but they still had last year's ratio, and again, given how they haven't really changed most of their marketing and their approaches, I suspect the actual responses and feedback on social media for Bud Light won't get better anytime soon. But let me know in the comments, stay fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of January. So if you click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback on how I can make the show better and better and improve myself. Either being a little bit more articulate in my words and not stuttering so much, which if you click the subscribe button subsequently, does help a little bit. If you look at the trends, it has worked thus far. And also, leaving a thumbs up is a great way to help with the YouTube and Rumble algorithm, so the videos get shared more and more, so I'd also appreciate that. Also, lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.